Hello, my name is Graciela Salinas, and I would like to share with you a little bit about the Zoll automatic external defibrillator. This is a machine that we're using now more and more in every hospital in the United States. As nurses, it is our responsibility to make sure that this monitor, that this defibrillator is in good standing. So every shift, it is our job to go and check it. And actually we will unplug it and then discharge it at 100 joules to make sure that it's working on battery. So once we do that, we will document on a piece of paper that we check it. And actually, we don't just check the Zoll defibrillator. We also check the crash cart, making sure that the lock has not been opened, that none of the meds have expired, that the oxygen tank is full, that the backboard is in place, and that all the devices we use for intubation are right there on top of the crash cart. Usually, some hospitals have it on top, some hospitals have it on the bottom drawer. So as you can see, this monitor is off, the one you're seeing. What you're looking at right here is they're replacing the battery. So we're supposed to keep it charged, and whenever we use it, we disconnect it. But if for any reason the battery runs out, we can always get another battery pack, as you see it here, and just change it right away. So this button is the analyze button, the orange button. Right next to it is off right now, but you can see there is a square. Usually there is a green check signifying that this defibrillator is in good working condition. If it is an X, a red X, that means you cannot use it, and you're gonna have to troubleshoot it so you can get it to a good working condition and you can use it. It's the monitor, the defibrillator is a monitor, so you can use it to monitor EKG during an episode of cardiac arrest or cardiac deterioration. It's also a defibrillator, an external defibrillator, like I said before, and it's also a pacer, an external pacer. So the buttons for that will be here. You'll see it in another slide in a much better way. So one of the beauty things about this, I don't know exactly how you do BLS or BLS being basic life support at your hospital, but we use the Zoll, and here is the pads that we use. So we know that we put this in the sternum, midway toward the bottom, lower half of the sternum. So usually we ask that when I'm training the nurses, we ask that this horizontal red line matches or is aligned with the nipples of the patient. And of course, then this is like, if you put it in place, then everything else falls in place. So this is pad 2 of 2. So pad number 1 is in the back of the patient. As you can see in the drawing, by just putting this in its place, then this other part will be in there. And this not only helps you with the defibrillation, you can defibrillate through this. We don't need the pads as we used to, and it will also monitor the patient. So whenever we have a cardiac arrest, this is all we have to put on the patient. As we turn the patient to put the backboard in the back, then we put pad 1, turn the patient, and we put pad 2, and we start chest compressions right away. So you can see here a much better view of the Zoll. How it looks like here on this area is where the pads will be, but like I said, rarely we use pads anymore. We use the not the electric pads that we used to put some gel on it. Now we use the patches like I showed you in the screen before, and that's all we need. So we always ask that whenever we're doing CPR, that we use the analyze button. And it's a 1, 2, 3. Number 1, analyze. You will press the analyze button. Once you press it once, the monitor, the defibrillator, will at 3 minutes will analyze again. And if there is a shock advice, it will tell you shock advice. It will start charging. It's preset at 100. You can bump it up to 200. And so it will charge, and then you will defibrillate or shock the patient by pressing that red or orange button. So it's 1, 2, 3, analyze, charge, and shock. So depending on the result, immediately we'll analyze again. We will continue with CPR, and the machine will continue to monitor for 3 minutes. At 3 minutes, it will analyze automatically again, and it will tell us whether or not shock is advised. There are some teams that are ACLS, meaning Advanced Cardiac Life Support, and they prefer to do all these steps manually. But for quality purposes, usually we ask that you use the analyze button. Okay, so that is that area. And like I said, is for defibrillation, is for monitoring. Of course, this in the black is off. And then on the bottom are the buttons for, so that we can do pacing. Another thing that I want to mention is that this will monitor the quality of BLS. So we say that high quality BLS, it has to be at a depth of 2.5 to 2.5 inches. So here we see that it's at 2.3, so it's good. The rate, usually we say that is about 100 per minute. And here we see that the chest compressions are at 101, which is excellent. And then the release, this means that you are allowing the heart, you're lifting your hands enough to allow the heart and the lungs to recoil the heart so that it can fill up again, so that when you pump, it will have blood. And so in this case, this is a high quality CPR, which is what we're looking for. The 200 is that this one is set up, this machine is set up at 200 joules. So as you can see, it can monitor the oxygen, the blood pressure, and the CO2 along with the respiration rate. These buttons on the bottom are supposed to be the menu. So when you press one of these buttons, it will highlight to let you know which button you are on, and the screen will change to let you see whatever is there. So if I was to press the alarms, then the alarm screen will come up so that I can change the parameters if I want to, the parameters of the alarm. Report data, if I wanted to, I could see how many times it's been used, how it was used, et cetera, et cetera. And this is for quality purposes. Code marker, we have to press this whenever we are doing a code so that it will mark the EKG, and we don't have to worry about what time did it start, how long did it last. So if we just press the code marker, it will mark it for us with the date and time that we started and the date and time that we finish. And of course, the parameters is whatever we want to be looking at. And the options, there is another screen that will give you a menu of other benefits or features that this machine has. So this is how it looks like. We only have to worry about doing high quality CPR or cardiac pulmonary resuscitation, and not worry too much about the monitor. Of course, somebody will have to be there also to, it's a machine, machines can fail, but it will facilitate your job a lot more. And here is another screen just for you to see. And this is giving you more information about the CPR. And why am I saying that? Because really the high survival rate of patients after a cardiac event has been deemed that if you do high quality CPR, and again, what is high quality? A rate of 2.5, a depth of 2.5 and a rate of 100 compressions per minute, then and allowing the heart to recoil, to refill, that's high quality. So this will monitor to see how we're doing. As you can see in this case, it's a depth of 2.1, 2.0 to 2.5 is what we're looking for. And then about 100. So this is a little bit fast. And as you can see, because it's a little bit fast, the heart, the release is not completely and totally refilling. So while it has it's not the highest quality, it still is very acceptable. So moving forward, this is just another screen where you can see this is only working as a monitor. As you can see, here you can see the 1, 2, 3 buttons better. Once you select the energy for defibrillating 100 or 200, then analyze, it will charge, and then you press the red or orange button to discharge. And here is the pacing for the pacer, and you can see a little bit better how the monitor will look like whenever you have a patient with the level of oxygen, the last, it will just show the last blood pressure. If you want to see more, that's when you press the parameters so that you can see what has happened before. Okay, so as a teacher, as an instructor, I usually use this device. I connect I will connect the pads to here. And there is a special pad, the pad that we put on the chest. There's a special one that has the 3 leads. Usually, remember, we put 3 leads to monitor the heart. So there is a special pad that looks like the one I showed you at the beginning. It will come here. I will connect it on these 3 buttons. And then I will connect the other part to the monitor, to the defibrillator. And here I have options of different heart rhythms. So I have sinus rhythm, and I have beat tach, and I have atrial fibrillation, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do when I'm teaching, I'm going to let the nurses come to the patient and see how he's doing, and then I'm going to switch the rhythm so that they will act and do whatever they need to do. So in the monitor, they will see whatever rhythm I have selected. So I have a case study, we will go through it, and they will look at the monitor and act accordingly. Of course, if it is an ACLS class, then they will have the algorithms so they can guide their steps. If it is just a BLS, then they will do CPR, just like we have learned in basic life support. So I hope that you enjoy this. This is not part of NCLEX. This is part of your practice in the United States. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you again soon with another lecture on another machine. Have a blessed day.